Hey, hey, hey. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I was going to say something else that didn't belong here. Remember that time is fluid. Whenever you see this message is when you're meant to see it. It's a general reading. It may not resonate with everyone, so please only take what resonates and leave the rest. Today's March 29th. It's 7:39 a.m. And I'm going to be reading your morning motivational message. And let's go from there. Hey, and I'm doing it because I feel like it. And I know this ain't for everybody. Everybody's not in this, aligned with this, right? But this is for those that are. What's the message? The triumphal entry. God sometimes acts in ways we don't expect, right? What do you expect from God? What do you see him as? You see him as this huge energy, with jewelry and gold and all this power, and somebody to be feared. Somebody, you know what I'm saying? What do you see when you think about God, right? What do you picture him as? We know what Jesus allegedly, you know what I'm saying, looked like, but how he carried himself was different than what we expected. Let's read. We say hindsight is 20/20, meaning if only I had known then what I know now, right? Jesus' triumphal entry into Jerusalem must have been one of those moments for the disciples. It had appeared to be such a wonderful day for them, and it was, but for different reasons than they realized. The disciples weren't the only ones who had misconceptions of the Messiah. Many Jews expected him to be an earthly king. Jewels, castles, horses, people following, grand entries, robes of gold, and all that good shit, right? An earthly king, a man of material wealth. You hear me? When the crowds heard Jesus was coming, they cheered, Hosanna, which means save now. They saw him as their new ruler, coming to bring salvation from political oppression. He raised the dead, so there was no doubt he could also restore David's kingdom and free them from Roman rule. No doubt, right? Here he comes. Here he comes. He's coming through now, right? Seated upon a donkey. Whoa, they wasn't expecting that. What? A donkey? A mere mule? That ain't nobody ever rode, right? He ain't got no saddle. He ain't got nothing on him. He ain't got none of the trinkets, none of the dressing, none of that 3D shit, none of the material stuff. He didn't come like that. He didn't come to impress you. Ooh, come on, spirit. Seated upon a donkey, Jesus resembled a ruler returning to his city in peacetime. One whose subjects would have lined his path with coats and palm fronds in celebration. Even the Pharisees were there, watching in indignation and saying, look, the world has gone after him. This is who they follow. This is who they believe in. A lot of people might think that you believing in God is something that they can't see. How many times have you noticed, or have people shunned you because of your belief in God and Jesus? How many times have they told us that the Bible is a fraud? How many times? How many times have people told you that God isn't real, that he does not exist? How many times did they say he won't help you? Where's your God is what I'm hearing. When times of suffering. Jesus was not a man of I'm not going to say high standards, because he was the standard, right? I'm just going to say somebody of material wealth. That didn't please him. That didn't move him. Your faith is what moves him. Your willingness to surrender to his will and to the will of God is what moves him. And that usually comes from those that are suffering, not those that are okay, that are feeling good because they listen. And listen, and Spirit said, and those that have those material things constantly say that it's a blessing from God. Is it? Because Jesus wasn't a man of material wealth. Jesus wasn't a man that was worried about how he looked. Jesus wasn't a man that worried about what kind of car he drove. He came in on a donkey, Negro. Don't be confused. It's not about the material wealth. It's about your spiritual wealth. This week, think back on times when circumstances turned out to be something you didn't expect, or when you realized God was different than you imagined. And look for an opportunity to share your insight with a friend or a loved one. It's not about the material wealth. Yes, we say we blessed when we have stability. Yes, we say God is favoring us when we have all these things and everything looks good and we're not owing any bills and we can pay our bills and stuff. Yeah, that's some of it. That's the drippings, but that ain't what we are supposed to be focused on. We're supposed to be focused on hearing our spirit. God was a man of meager means. He was a humble prophet, right? He was a humble person. He walked around in sandals and you know, garments of meager means. It wasn't silks. It wasn't furs. It wasn't gold. It wasn't rubies. It wasn't diamonds. It wasn't all of this stuff. It wasn't. It was a plain white jacket or plain white, whatever they call them, suit or whatever you want to call them, dresses with the pants underneath. I don't know what you call it. He rode in on a donkey, baby. He didn't even have a saddle on the donkey. Financial wealth was not his priority. Your spiritual wealth is his priority. If I knew then what I know now. He wasn't looking, you know, for me to how do I say this? He wasn't here for me to gain material wealth. He came and he sacrificed so that I would have spiritual wealth. Health. What's more important to you today? Is it what you have or your spiritual well-being? Are you humbled? Are you egotistical? Are you prideful? Do these things mean more to you than being here and helping another person? Listen, we can show people all day long, just like we can show people all day long, you know, the blessings and the grace and the mercy that God gave us, right? That has instilled in our lives, right? We can show those that are suffering, those that are trying to attain. We can show them if you believe, because even in the church, listen, you come in, you obey God, you pay your tithes, but the minister is the only one that's profiting from it, right? He has a nice car, he has a home, he has a mortgage, he has a following, he has a sanctuary, and all the things that come from this come from the parish, right? It comes from the parishioners. They get paid to do that. What about those that do it for free? For me personally, I'd rather listen to someone speak about God that ain't got shit than speak about God that got everything. I would, because see, this is somebody in a humble position, but they still believe and trust in the Most High. Here's somebody that has everything, and that's the reason they trust in the Most High. They trust because they have. How do you feel when you have not? You still trust him? You still think he's that ultimate God? And how about how people view you? If you don't have a lot of material shit, then you can't be believing in God. If your life ain't glamorous and you have stability and everything you want, then you must believe in God. What happens when you believe and you have faith and you have very little? How do they see you? How do you see me? You see me as somebody that doesn't have faith? You see somebody that's not favored? That doesn't have Christ's blessing all over her life? Because I don't have a big house, I don't have a big fancy car, because I don't have a whole lot of money, I don't have fancy jewels, I don't have any, because I am okay right now in my own skin. I have faith. I have humility. I know where I've been. I know that I am not to idolize those things. Those things can't bring me joy. Those things can't save my soul. I understand that. Hindsight, right? You can have all the material shit in the world and still lose yourself. How many times did things turn out not the way that you thought they would? And we thought maybe we're not blessed. Maybe God don't see us. No, God wants us to love him from within, not from without. You hear me? Not from outside, not from our possessions, not for what we have, not for what he does in our lives. Not in that way, in the material way. But I'm talking about in a spiritual way. When your spirit is okay, the outside doesn't matter. What people think of you doesn't matter. They thought he was going to come in with all this big shit and his big, with the trumpets and the horsemen and the parade. And he came in on a donkey, humble as fuck. Yes, that's your Messiah. Follow my lead. Yes, he can raise people from the dead. Listen, he don't need a crown. He don't need a scepter. He don't need gold jewelry because he knows what he's doing. He don't want you to think that that's what you need, because you don't need that. We want those things. We chase those things. We idolize those things. Those things become our primary purpose. That ain't the purpose. The primary purpose is to understand, to follow his lead, to heal, to let those that are suffering know that even during their suffering, they still loved by God. He was not a man of material wealth, even though he was the wealthiest motherfucker we know. Excuse my French, y'all, but God, you listen, I just gotta be me. I just gotta be me. The language shouldn't matter. They're just words. They're just words that I use to describe. Right? Don't take it personal. I am who I am in this humble position. And because I don't have a big audience, because I don't have the big fancy stuff, a lot of people would pass this video by, right? They don't see that big, ooh, there's big light around me like I'm some kind of God, Nah, I love him and he loves me as I am. I don't desire to have all of that stuff. I desire peace. I desire good health. I desire just to be able to get through each day, and with whatever he gives me, it's sufficient for me. I'm not out here trying to make the most out of nothing but what he has given me. And he has given me salvation, which is more important, which is worth way more than a car, a house, a man, a family, any of that. Because let me tell you something. When that shit's removed, when that shit is taken away, what do you have left? You may feel like you don't have nothing. You're not good enough. You're nobody because you don't have all these things. Baby, you got God. You got the most expensive shit on the shelf. And they can't even touch it. They can't reach it because their minds, and they idolize the material shit. They idolize the money. They idolize their image, property, prosperity. They idolize that, but they don't idolize the spirit. Now you got all this shit, and here comes Jesus. And what did he say? Why are you idolizing that shit? That ain't gonna save you. When you're in trouble, do you pray to your fucking wallet? Do you pray to the deed on the house? Do you pray to the financial people at the car place? Who you pray to when you're struggling? And what happens when it's removed? Do you feel less than? Of course you do. You know why? Because you idolized that. That was your identity. Let Jesus be your identity. With or without. You're good. You're good. Don't let people fool you into thinking because you ain't got this and you ain't got that you ain't touched, that you ain't loved, that you ain't in the hand of God. Oh, I promise you are. Let them chase after that shit. You chase after the Spirit. When you become attached to the Spirit, there's nothing outside of you that can change your fucking mind. Nothing outside of you that can change your existence, your condition. You hear me? Oh, excuse me. So you lose a few things. Hell, you can even become homeless. Been there, done it. But let me tell you, whatever God has you going through at this time, it's a time for you to trust Him. You think if you get another home that it'll be okay, it'll make it better? No, it won't, because you'll still be in that same condition. You'll still think that having it is the blessing. No, it's not. The blessing is having yourself even when you don't have that. You know? Even when nobody's around to support you. Because people will let you down. People will think about their own shit before they think about yours. Right? When you're dealing with people that have material wealth, that's all they think about. Listen, they'll try to show you how to get it, but that's not going to help you keep it, because you have a spiritual issue. You have a spiritual sickness, not a material sickness. You have lack of spirit, lack of God, lack of foresight, lack of trust, lack of faith. Whatever you're doing in this time, Father, just hold me close. He's trying to teach you something. He's trying to show you something. Something that can be used later on. He's trying to teach you that with or without. You'll learn to respect the material wealth. You'll learn to respect it and not want it so much. I don't ever want to be let down again by the world. Because I feel like it's the world that let me down, not God. It's because I put my trust in them. I put my trust in their relationships and all that stuff to make me feel better, but it didn't. And it doesn't. It keeps me in turmoil because the constant work I gotta put in to fucking keep it. You understand? And I'm talking about even relationships. It's constant work. You're taking the focus off God and you're putting it on this, that, and the other. So when things are stripped away, what you got left? Nothing. You're empty. You feel lonely. You feel isolated. You feel like God is punishing you. He ain't punishing you. He's stripping you of those things that will let you fucking down. Because when it's all gone, He's still here. He's right here waiting for you to open yourself up to receive Him. Okay? Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave that right there. That's your morning motivational message, right? What and how are you expecting Jesus and God to show up in your life? What does that look like? Yes, it's nice to have nice things and to feel blessed, but I promise that becomes an idol. You know, it just makes you work harder to keep it, and then you got to keep reinventing and keep doing more and more and more. And inside, it's like you're constantly running to keep up. Child, please. I remember crying when I didn't have, like when I was short on food and I was alone and I didn't have a car and I had to go like 3 miles right, to walk to get food or go to the food pantry. I remember that. I remember crying shit, man, and just being like, why, Father? You know what I'm saying? But you know what he taught me? He taught me that all I did was, when I used to have to walk up that fucking hill carrying them groceries, I used to just pray, God, just the next step, Father, the next step, just help me with the next step, the next step. And when I would get to the top of that fucking hill, man, I just say, thank you, Jesus, that you let me make it. Thank you, God, that you let me make it up this fucking hill today. That I was able to get out and get some groceries, you hear me? I can tell y'all about a lot of times when I didn't have, man, but I didn't complain to nobody. Because I was so grateful just to be able to be okay. I was grateful that I wasn't getting high, that I wasn't using. I was so grateful that God had saved me from that abusive relationship. I was hurt that my family wasn't there to support me. I was hurt, man. I was hurt because my mom lived like 10 minutes away from me, and my son would go visit her every day, and he would pass my house. Never, Mom, you need anything? Never, you know. I'm not trying to blame him, but I'm just telling you how I felt. I didn't get that, do you need anything? I didn't get that, are you okay? I didn't get that for 4 fucking years, nigga. I had to walk up and down that street without a car, without anything. I would even go help other people on the fucking bus that would not, and they still haven't acknowledged that shit. Even though I knew that they weren't supporting me, I still did it anyway. I trust God today because he has seen me through some really tough times, some really dark fucking days, you hear me? I ain't have shit. Listen, you look at my house, it's minimal. I don't have all no pictures on because I don't, that's not something that I pursue. You know what I mean? I'm just grateful that my house is clean. I have decent shit. You know what I mean? I take care of it. I take care of what he's given me with very little. You know what I mean? And the fact that I don't have any resentments, I'm working on that for the most part, right? But the way I see it, it wasn't their job to take care of me. It was my job to trust God. It was my job to push through and keep faith. And keep the faith even when it looked like I was falling. Even in my struggle, I didn't give up. I learned to release my expectations. I learned to release my expectations. I was thinking one way. I was thinking that if you do this and if you do that, then that's my blessing. Listen, what I expected is not what I got. I got to experience what I think Jesus had went through. He didn't sleep in no fancy hotel. He slept outside. He didn't dress in fancy clothes. He didn't have a whole bunch of money. He fed thousands of people with a piece of fish and some bread. You hear me? And he was okay. I'm okay. You hear me? I'm so grateful for that. Even though in the midst of it, I was going through. I was mad at the world, man. I'm mad at everybody. But I was not realizing that it was my pruning. You hear me? It was my pruning. And I'm grateful for it. Because I can make a little bit feel like a lot today. Because I'm happy with it. I'm grateful. I'm glad just to have that. That's enough. That's fine. I'll be okay from here. You feeling me? This day still to this day I don't have what I want. There's things that I've been working towards, and the closer I get to it, listen, peep this. I'm starting to ask myself, do I really want that? Do I really want that responsibility? Do I really want to, give my time over to this so I can have this? Because in order to have it, I got to keep it. I got to put in the work to keep it, right? And I'm talking about material things. Yeah. That's what I'm working on. The things that I want for my future, right? What do I want? Is that necessary? Right? Will that make me feel any better or worse? Will that, it's not going to change my spiritual outlook. It's going to change my physical outlook, though. It'll change the things that I have to do. It'll put more on my plate. I'm starting to learn. Maybe I don't need that. Maybe I'm all right just the way I am with what I have. This is manageable. You know what I mean? That if having that material thing is not going to make me any more or better of a person, even though the world would think, oh, she's got it going on, she's being blessed, and things that have. Listen, that's just the material shit. I could care less what people think at this point. It don't make me, what they eat don't make me shit. What they have is not going to affect me the same way as it them, because I realize it takes fucking work to keep that shit. I have enough. I can go to the grocery store. I can get back into the fucking house without a problem. If there's somewhere I need to be, I can get there. And that's all I really worry about today. It ain't about what you think or what you see me with or without. It doesn't matter. Because I know whose I am. I know that my father and my brother are very humble people. Right? This ain't about no material wealth. This is about spiritual wealth. So next time you're out here and you're struggling or you're worrying about losing something, shit, maybe it's good. If you can get past the humiliation, right, and the shame around it, because ain't no shame in that shit. That shit comes and goes. What are you focused on? That's why the world's in the state it's in right now. It is. One of them, anyway. Anyway, that's your morning message. That's what I have for you guys. I hope that it helps. I hope that it gives you some kind of clarity or insight, okay? And that it motivates you to seek God, man, for real, in all things, right? And don't forget to help your neighbor. All right, I'll see y'all. Deuces. Y'all stay up.